product basic descriptions such as price. Grocery electronic cart can lessen the time spent for computing the total amount of the items in the cart and make it easier to determine the cost of every item that the shopper wants to know.
Objectives of the study. Design and develop a grocery electronic cart that will help the shopper to be informed of the price of each item being selected and give the exact amount of the product after being scanned using barcode reader technology. Develop a device that will lessen the human intervention in inquiring and acquiring for the product's basic description, such as product name and product cost. Develop a project that will ease the computing a factor for the summation of all the items being added to cart by the shopper. Evaluate the project in terms of reliability, functionality, ease of use, and safety.
For the significance of the project, so the grocery electronic cart is very beneficial, most especially to the following. So the first one is the shopper. The cart is always present in any supermarket and big stores. It helps the buyer or the shopper to bring the items that he or she wants. The customer may not feel uncomfortable nor tired by using the carts. They will enjoy shopping and have fun. So the project is designed to inform the customers the price of each item and know the total amount of the products. So the next is the market owner. So it will be beneficial to the market owner because sometimes it is inevitable for the market to encounter problems that may arise from the shopper in terms of asking the price and cost of items. And the third one is the sales lady. It will lessen their work and will reduce the possible problems that may raise by the customer, such as asking about the product's cost, which is the result of the absence of the price tag in the product.
Scope of the study. Help the customer to know the total amount of the selected product being added to cart. The screen displays the corresponding basic description of the scanned item, such as the brand name, product cost, size, and barcode. The user can add or cancel the item by pressing the add or cancel button on the screen. He can also delete the item if he refuses to add it. Using thermal printer, the scanned item will be printed. Limitations of the study. Cannot be used for billing purposes or for paying the item. It can only be used for the grocery shopping purposes and to make it at ease.
Next is the definition of terms. So the following terminologies are operationally and conceptually defined for the better understanding of the readers. First one is the Raspberry Pi. It acts as the brain of the system and controls the barcode scanner and the LCD. The second one is the Arduino microcontroller or the Arduino Uno. So it also acts as the brain of the system. It is a microcontroller board based on the Atmega 3280 and it is responsible for the control for the thermal printer and the 4x4 keypad module. Next is the barcode reader. So the barcode reader, it is an optical scanner that can read printed barcodes. So it is used to determine how much the price of each the item is. Next is the 4x4 keypad module. It is used for loading numeric into the microcontroller. So it allows to add massive storage and data logging to the project. Next is the USB hub. So it allows you to connect a USB device to the Raspberry Pi. Next is the micro SD card or the memory card. So it is used to store the information or the database of the system. So next is the thermal printer. So it is a printer that uses heat in order to produce the image on the paper. So thermal printing does not use ink or toner unlike the other printing forms. It is used to print the receipt of the system. Next is the Microsoft Visual Studio. So it is an integrated development environment from the Microsoft. So it was used to create the whole system. Next is the Microsoft Access. So it is used also for the database of the system.
For the chapter 2, review of related literature and studies, technology use, conceptual framework, and conceptual paradigm.
The review of related literature and studies. So, related literature. First one is the Smart Shopping Trolley
controller, 4x4 keypad module, micro SD card, USB hub, Microsoft Visual Studio, and the Microsoft Access.
For the conceptual framework, we have here 5 blocks. So the first one is the barcode reader of the grocery electronic cart will scan the items that the user wants to buy. Then the next block, the user has 2 options: cancel the item or add to cart. So the third one, if they want to buy more than one item, they will input on the keypad module and select the number of items they want. Then next, user will be able to know the total amount of the items they got using the LCD or the liquid crystal display. So the last block, if the user wants to have a copy of the receipt, he will turn on first the printer switch and click the print button to print.
Conceptual paradigm. It shows the input, the process, and the output of the project. For the input, hardware requirements, microcontroller, electronic components. For the system requirements, Arduino IDE, Microsoft Access, and Microsoft Visual Studio. For the process, problem identification, research, requirements specification, concept generation, design, prototype, construct, system integration, system test, and evaluation. And the output is the grocery electronic cart.
Chapter 3, Methods and Research. So Chapter 3 presents the methodology that the researchers employed in the study. So it includes problem identification, research or gathering data, requirements specification, concept generation, design phase, prototype and construction, hardware and software integration, system test and validation, and evaluating the project.
Problem identification. First is to identify the problem the customer needs. Purchasing for a long time, the customer wastes unnecessary time at the counter for billing the purchased item. The customers have to wait for a long queues to get their products scanned. Customers have issues with respect to the specific data about the item marked down and with the time consumed of falling in line at the counters just to know the total bills of their selected items.
Next is the research or gathering data. So first point here, the research conducted thorough research on the basic engineering and scientific principles, related technologies, and existing solutions. Second one is the researchers analyzed the concepts and conducted various researches about different related projects with reliable and effective methods. Then third, the researchers spent a lot of time in browsing internet to find more suitable sources attached with published documents and good solutions. Lastly, the researchers consulted and asked professionals who have the knowledge related to the project was also considered.
Requirements specification. First is canvas for the other features of the grocery electronic cart that help them in developing the system. Second, determine the project's capability and its limitations. Last is the specify all the needed requirements for the development of the project from the very basic requirements such as different electronic components, specification, and scientific function.
Concept generation. First, the researchers browsed different ideas and projects related to the grocery electronic cart. Then involved the concept of the Microsoft Access as database engine of the system for storing data. The design phase. Under the design phase is the system block diagram. So this is the grocery electronic cart block diagram. So the barcode scanner, the 4x4 keypad module, and the SD card are the inputs of the system block diagram, while the LCD or the liquid crystal display and the thermal printer are the outputs of the system. This is the system flowchart for the grocery electronic cart. To start, tap the screen to turn on the system. Click Login button to display the main home. Then the user will scan item and the system will ask, is the item registered? And if not, the screen will display that the item is not registered and will go back to the main home. And if yes, the screen will display the price of the scanned items. The system will ask, do you want this item? If not, cancel the item and the item will not be counted. And if yes, the system will ask only one for this item. And if not, select number of items they want and add the item. After adding the item, the price of each scanned item will add to the total amount. And if yes, or the user only wants one item, the system will add the item. And the price of the scanned item will add to the total amount. The system will ask, do you want to delete the items? If yes, delete items, then the item is or are removed from the scan and will go back to the main home. And if no, the system will ask again, do you want to print a receipt? If yes, switch on the printer switch, then click print button on the screen. So the receipt of the grocery will be printed. If no, click log out and the system will ask, are you sure you want to exit? If not, cancel and the system will go back to the main home. And if yes, click OK to fully exit and the system will go back to the login form.
Step flowchart for the registration of the grocery electronic card. Display main home. They have a decision. Do you have an account? If no, create account, fill out information form, then save. If the user have an account, enter username and password. If the username and password is not correct, it will display the login field. Then, if the username and password is correct, it will display the main menu. If the user wants to add new item, click add new items, fill out information form, type or scan barcode of items, then save. It will be stored on database. Then click home to back to the main menu. If the user wants to check the list of saved items, click the list of items button. List of items appear. If the user wants to update the list of items, just click the item, update the information of the items, save, and click update button to totally update the items and stored on the database. Then click home to back to the main menu. If the user wants to delete the item, click the item and click the delete button, the item removed from the database, and click home to return to main menu. The user wants to log out, click log out and OK to back to the main home.
The mechanical section. So this is the schematic diagram of the design project. So the barcode scanner, the memory card, the liquid crystal display or the LCD are connected to the Raspberry Pi and is supplied by the 5 volts battery or the LiPo battery which is rechargeable. The second part is the Arduino Uno. So the 4x4 keypad module and the thermal printer are connected to the digital pins of the Arduino Uno. The thermal printer is supplied by 9 volts battery and the Arduino is also connected to the Raspberry Pi.
Next is the project design. This is the rear view and the front view of the grocery electronic card. And this is the top view and isolated view of the grocery electronic card.
The software design. Enabling the grocery electronic card not only requires the hardware aspect but also software design. So the grocery electronic card uses the Arduino IDE, Microsoft Visual Studio, and the Microsoft Access for the software design. The Arduino IDE is used to program the microcontrollers, while the Microsoft Visual Studio is used for the system database
Studios in terms of programming, Microsoft Access for database, and Microsoft Visual Studio for the system of the project. Finalize the list of materials needed and gather them together. System test and validation. Researchers use trial and error methods for testing the sensitiveness of the scanner to assure whether it is too sensitive or not.
Evaluating the project. So the following rating scale was used. 5 for excellent, 4 for very good, 3 for good, 2 for fair, and 1 for poor to determine the quality of the project. So this shows the table for the rate of the evaluation.
Chapter 4, Project Design, Testing, and Evaluation. Evaluation of existing method. Development of the project involves different methods and techniques that were considered. Existing methods have contributed a lot to the generation and progression of the grocery electronic card. The techniques and methods executed by the researchers took part in the realization of the project. Design consideration. The researchers also made consideration in the development of the project. The availability of the materials used from the online shop, the time management was also given an importance. Its reliability, functionality, safety, and ease of use were also considered.
The electronic assembly. So this part shows the assembled circuitry of the project. So proper arrangement of every components and aligning them accordingly to its supposed position were applied to prevent confusion during troubleshooting of the circuitry. As we can see, the liquid crystal display, the 4x4 keypad module, the printer switch, the Arduino Uno, the Raspberry Pi, thermal filter, the USB hub, memory card reader, and 9 volts battery are wired together to form the electronic assembly of the grocery electronic card. This illustration shows the casing of the circuitry. And this one shows the circuitry installed at the back of the card. And this is the final design for the grocery electronic card.
Fabrication of mechanical parts and interfacing of the electronic control. In the fabrication of mechanical parts and interfacing different electronic parts of the project, safety was taken into consideration. Electronic wirings were soldered using soldering iron and compacted together in a soldering board to obtain the organized circuitry. Next is the simulation, testing, and troubleshooting. Simulation testing and troubleshooting were very essential to the development of the project. These activities were implemented before and during the time of the development of make sure that the project is functioning properly as expected.
The summary and the result of the evaluations. Evaluations were given to 30 evaluators who are composed of 10 students and 20 communities. So the project was rated in terms of the following criteria. So the reliability, functionality, ease of use, and safety. The project was rated excellent both in terms of reliability and functionality. And in terms of ease of use and safety, it was rated as very good, with the overall weighted mean of 4.6 excellent. Chapter 5. This chapter involves a summary of findings, conclusions, as well as the recommendations yielded from different evaluators and respected persons.
Summary of findings. Instead of using Arduino alone, researchers proved that the design project can also use the Raspberry Pi as its microcontroller. The driver of the thermal printer was not easy to be installed directly to the Raspberry Pi. Summation of all the product costs cannot be totally easy. Studying the codes thoroughly made it solve the problem. For the conclusion, the grocery electronic cart used Raspberry Pi as a microcontroller. The device was developed using Raspberry Pi microcontroller, and barcode scanner is the sensor powered by 5 volts 3 ampere output rechargeable power bank as a power supply. The total of the product costs were already solved and was being displayed at the LCD screen. The device was evaluated in terms of reliability, functionality, ease of use, and safety.
The recommendations. Before using the materials and components, Make sure to check all the specifications of each materials to be used to evade the incompatibility of each and every materials. A second recommendation is provide a well-secured casing on the prototype of the device, especially on the circuitry, to prevent from sudden damage. The grocery electronic cart is indeed very helpful to everyone involved in the market. It can help the customer to know the total amount of the selected products being added to cart. It can also minimize the time wasted asking the sales lady about the product's basic description such as price. Therefore, the grocery electronic cart can lessen the time spent for computing the total amount of all the items at the cart and make it easier to determine the cost of every item that the shopper wants to know. These are the parts of the grocery electronic cart. This is the LCD or the liquid crystal display. This is the 4x4 keypad module. This one is the printer switch. This is the thermal printer. And this one is for the power supply section. This is the barcode scanner or the barcode reader. These are the parts for the registration. This is for the registration form. This is the barcode scanner or the barcode reader. And this one is the memory card. The user will plug in the barcode reader as well as the memory card. The administrator will double-click the grocery electronic card icon to view the registration form. If the administrator does not have an account, he will click Create New Account to sign up for the registration form. He will input his first name, his middle name, last name, username, and his password. Click the Save button to register the account, and the account is being successfully registered. If he has an account already, he only need to input his username, his password, and click the Login button to access the system. To add new item, just click the Add New Item button, input the brand name, the product name, the size, the price, and scan the barcode of the item, and click the Save button to save, then OK to successfully register the new item. To view the list of items, the administrator will choose the List of Items button, and the form will show the registered list of items. So this is the item that the administrator added recently. If you want to search a specific product quickly, type the brand name at the search box. And this is the product. To update the item, just click the product. And for example, if the administrator wants to change the price, just input the new price at the text box. Click Save. This is the edited item. Click the Update button, then OK button to update the item. And if the administrator wants to delete item, just click the product, click the Delete button, and OK button to fully delete the item. To view home, just
just click the home button at the top of the form. The form shows add new item, list of items, and to log out, just click the log out button, click the OK button to log out. To exit, just click the X button at the top of the form, then click the OK button. The administrator will insert the memory card for it serves as the database of the system. So the user will tap the screen to turn on the grocery electronic card. Press the login button to start, turn on the scanner, and scan the item. Screen display information and cancel button to cancel. Let's scan another item. User will input the number of quantity using keypad module. Press the add button to add. The screen will show the information of the item. The user scan new item. Scan again using the barcode reader. Input the number of item using the 4x4 keypad module. Press the add button to add. User scan new item. Input the number of the item. Press the add button to add, and the screen displays the information of the item. And if the user wants to delete the item, just click the delete button. To print, turn on first the printer switch, then press the print button on the screen to print the receipt of the items. And that's all for the grocery electronic card.